Hello, everyone. Anything to anybody?
Hello. Okay, Elishay, we are live and welcome aboard.
Thanks, David.
4 a.m. London time.
Yeah,
Elishay doesn't
almost.
sleep. He's part vampire.
Yeah, well, I wish it was true.
Yeah, you got to get some
Yeah,
teeth.
the descendant of um,
Dracula. Count
the
Dracula.
Count Dracula de Pesce, Vlad
That's it.
Dracula de Pesce.
Hey, you could pass for a Transylvanian.
Yeah, no, I don't know about that. I told you a lot of people like ask
Put
me.
on the pointy ears and some
You,
teeth.
you know what? Actually, the teeth are kind of like scary, but the ears kind of like remind you of like the night elves' ears, like
I don't
the
know,
majestic
man.
creatures.
Did you ever see the movie Salem's Lot?
Salem's.
Salem's Lot. Let me see if I have that on my computer. Give me 1 second here. I think I deleted it, but let me just check real quick because wait till you see this freak. All right, so Elishay, so we were talking about a bunch of stuff, so I don't even know where to start.
I'm gonna be honest with you. The focus on my part on the 6.1, 6.2 million Jews that were killed during World War II in the Holocaust
Well,
is
they
because
killed everybody. They killed
so
gypsies
that
and
so that's my point.
I think Hungarians were like the number one nationality that were killed by the Germans, if I remember correctly.
Nope,
No?
Russians,
What? Oh,
Russians.
no, I'm not talking in warfare. I'm talking in the camps.
No. Either way, Russians.
Really? It was Russians?
Yeah, because when they in World War II in total, we lost about just about over 124 point something million souls on this planet, and nobody like to talk about that number, but 26,
124 million people died in World War II?
yes, and 26.8 million of them were both civilian and military population from Russia.
Yeah, I
Yes,
knew it was like, because Stalingrad, there were like 20 million people.
the,
It was insane.
the Nazis war machine
Yeah,
stopped 90 kilometers away from Moscow, and
yeah.
what really stopped them was, besides the obvious really bad shit, crazy weather of cold, and the cutoff of their supply lines and the absence of may God erase his name, that fucker who was partially in charge of the program of the final solution for the Jews in Europe, General Heydrich. He was badly wounded by a Russian sniper shot. He was evacuated to Turkey, and then he died really from a very really bad, nasty infection, and nothing could have helped
What
him.
was his name?
General Heydrich. I don't know I forgot the first name, but oh, is that the first name? Yeah, Heydrich. General Heydrich. Him and Colonel Adolf Eichmann. They were the one who orchestrated the final solution for the extermination of the Jews of Europe and the rest
Yeah.
of the world, whatever they can put. And the thing is, when he suffered that sniper shot, apparently the bullet was dipped in something, made out of something to
Yeah.
use to spread to maybe mercury, maybe it could be something other than just lead or iron, and eventually caved into a very fatal wound and died a very, very painful death as well deserved. So lack of leadership, and by the way, he was a brilliant tactician and long-term strategist. So yeah, uh, lack of leadership, cut off the
Well,
supply
The
line.
Germans, I mean, they were fighting the whole world and they almost won.
Yeah, but that's my
So they're
but that's
pretty good soldiers.
yeah, but that's the German of back then, not the woke chocolates soldiers and
Oh,
police
I'm talking
officers of
World War
today.
II. Yeah, I'm talking World War II. Yeah.
Fair enough. So also World War One. Don't forget they were involved in World War One as well. And the fuckers at B actually funded both sides of the wars in one, two, and now also in three. By the way, That's what people don't keep on not getting. But listen, the only reason that people highlight the 6.1, 6.2 million Jews that were systematically um, exterminated in the ghettos, in the working camps, in the death camps, in the furnaces, in the gas showers, all those horrible deaths. And it's because they were the only one out of the race pyramid, whatever.
Well, killing 6 million people, I mean, that's a time consuming task. Think about that 6 million people. If you do that over say 6 years, right? That's a
No,
million a year. Let me ask you a question. Why do you think that Jews were targeted?
well, it's easy. It's easy. In the first quick comment, out of 400,000 families, not individuals, in Germany alone, 400,000 families in Germany alone, only 25% saw the writing on the walls
And
and
left.
escaped and left to Britain, Canada, the United States. Among them, by the way, my grandparents. I mentioned it in previous interviews. Um, the 75% let their
Your
normal.
grandparents were in Germany?
No,
Oh
no,
yeah.
they came from all over.
Oh yeah.
You forgot that Germany conquered significant amount of lands with
Yeah.
and they had quick blitzkrieg advancement.
Yeah.
They expanded as far as the Middle East, Africa, the battles in El Alamein in northern Africa,
Right. Yeah.
until the Allies and the Brits arrived over there with battleships and ground troops.
So like, why kill Anne Frank or these harmless people who are just trying to live their lives? I mean, what did they do wrong?
No, Anna Frank was just one story out of many because
I'm
she
just using her because
documented
people know the
people.
name.
Yeah.
Just an average person who
Okay.
wasn't doing anything against the state of Germany.
So basically, if you can remember correctly, the history and not the bullshit we were taught in school to push a certain narrative and again to recruit more sympathy and empathy. After World War I is finished, the German people were broke, and their leaders were humiliated because they had to sign the Versailles Agreement,
Mhm.
which basically um, the demilitarized the entire German army.
Yeah,
No
and the
more
reparations are killing them.
exactly to France and to other nations as well. And don't forget that also they paid for to, and then France used it to build the Maginot Line, like a whole line across in between France to Germany, filled with landmines and you just name it. Uh, and the German people, as nationals, but also their leaders were humiliated, and they had to pay up. Um, and then basically, then came along. I don't believe for a second it was by accident. I believe it was by design. They just picked a frustrated but yet brilliant young man who was also happened to be an excellent speaker, Adolf Hitler. And how did they pick them and pluck them out of a massive crowd, you might ask? Well, if you can recall, there was a time when he sat in prison by trying to knock off the parties involved. When he sat in prison, he wrote that book, Mein Kampf,
Mhm.
My Struggle. And that at the same time, it clicked and appealed to a lot of Germans. And a lot of satanic motherfuckers seized the opportunity to raise him to power, funded him, and he was having in no time he was having rallies and speeches. Let's say 400,000 families in Germany alone, genuine Jews, not fake converts or from the bloodline of the Khazarian king who eventually escaped with his 25 wives and God knows how many sons and grandsons and bastards. Where do you think all those uh, bloodlines of the European monarchs or alleged monarchs come from? Or the king or queen or prince or princess of the Netherlands or of Monaco or France or of Spain or all those alleged royalties? Where do you think they came from? Where do you
Well,
think they sprung? From which seed? The Khazarian, the Khazarian Empire. They escaped because the kings of Russia and Prussia back then threatened them. Either stop your devious practice of you know, lending with interest. Um, it was like medieval or modern days Sodom and Gomorrah. That's the way to pronounce it according to the. I know it's in the New Testament it's Sodom and Gomorrah, but in the Old Testament it's Sodom and Gomorrah when they used to lay men with men, women with women, or a fucking pyramid of 19 people orgy and children were involved. And they
yeah.
used to take a short midget or a dwarf and put him on a bed that stretched him to try to make him long, and alternatively taking a long, tall man and try to shrink him to be short. Tortures you wouldn't believe. Shit that you don't even get to see that kind of shit in the most horrible horror movies or in the slingshot of hell. That just goes to tell you a thing or two about the not the good side of human nature, but the other side of human nature, the
Yeah,
bad side.
man's a beast.
And again, we are capable for the most loving, caring, compassionate type of things. But as history has shown us time and time again, and not in decades or centuries, but also thousands of years back, we are capable for the most horrific, and nowadays speak for itself, I guess. And before we started the show, we mentioned that back in the days, people used to fight with swords and axes and clubs with spikes and bows and arrows and everything. And the death was the same death as today. I'm not pretty sure about that because back then people would die slower and bleed to death. Today, you come with the sidearm or with an assault rifle. I'm not saying that it's not gorish and gruesome, but you put one in the head, quick death, that's it, done. You don't have to stab someone or death by a thousand cuts in an ancient way in order to cause someone to die. Is it humane? Is it better way? Is it justifying killing? No, but again, you just brought it up before we went online, so I'm just saying there is dying and then there's dying. That's a bad way to go.
Yeah.
Um, um, Either way, so yeah, so out of 400,000 families, not individuals, not single men, women,
Mhm.
families. Let's take an average of a family of a mom, dad, or mom, dad, and one or two children. Some of them maybe with their grandparents. I don't know. So let's take an average family of 4 to 5.
Mhm.
Can you multiply just in Germany alone, 400,000 families
Mhm.
multiplied by 5? How much will you get?
2 million.
There you have it. So 25 of them, 25% of that number saw the writing on the wall, saw what's coming, and ran with everything that's up before they rounded up to the roundup for the ghettos and then the trains to the working camps and the death camp and um, whatever took place over there, which was horrible. Um, but 75% remained complicit and they let the normalcy bias kick in. And they say, "Oh no, we are card carrying party members.
Mhm.
We are German citizen. We married to German non-Jewish people like Christians and even Catholics, and we doing business with those people. We
Mhm.
provide them with goods, with services. Do you think in the end it helped them? No. Even some of their neighbors rat on them and some of their husbands and their wives and the spouses, just like Just get away from me. And then started the race pyramid. I fucking hate that terminology. And basically, they started to determine who is a Jew, who is a non-Jew, and who is even staying with a tenth of 1% of Judaism in him. That's how they went and checked the papers 3 generations back. So basically, not just the child and or the father and the mother, it's also the grandfather and the grandmother. And by the laws of Judaism, according to the Holy Scriptures, uh, the the faith of the child is determined by the mother. So it doesn't matter if the father was a Christian Jew or non-Jew. If the mother is Jewish, then the child is Jewish. Islam is the other way around. It's the father. In Christianity, I guess it doesn't really matter. But then there will be other arguments like
But the Germans probably didn't care. If the father was a Jew, they probably were equal.
yes and no, because when they sat down, if you watch that movie, The Final Solution, you'll see the meeting of a secret meeting of the highest echelon of all the German officers, of some of them from the Wehrmacht, most of them from the Waffen SS, and the Gestapo, and they eventually executed that plan. I should say, well, I shouldn't, but if I was them, or if I was the leaders we have worldwide today, they executed beautifully and perfectly. Um, from the twisted angle, I'm not saying that that's okay, because again, minus the highlight and the focus on 6.1 or 2 million Jews, um, you've got again 1.5 million Arabs, 1.8 million, maybe even 2 million Gypsies. You got people from Hungary, Bulgaria, Polish people, even people who weren't Jews or Gypsies, but they collaborate with the Jews or give them a place to hide in the basements or in the attic or in the barn, were considered as enemy of the state, of the Third Reich, and they were executed. Now,
Live long and prosper.